Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our movie episode of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's boldly going slowly where no one has gone before with me tonight.
It's Peter Bingham-Pankratz.
And I did not take a vow of celibacy before coming aboard. It's Kerry Carusetta.
That was good. That line is so stupid. Because it had nothing. It should not be there in this movie. I have no problem with it if you're going to do something with it, but nothing is done with it other than to be like, it's dumb as fuck.
Yeah, It
doesn't make. It would be fine if you did something with there's some reason that plays a part, but it does nothing in this movie.
I guess you could make make an argument that she knows about Captain Kirk. She's like, she wants to let him know right away. Like,
Well, no, so it's so silly if you read up on it, what it is, and they brought it back in Enterprise, like a lot of things, but it has to do. It's just basically, according to Memory Alpha, Deltians, whatever. She's from Delta 4. That people from Delta 4 are just too sexually attractive.
yeah.
And so to be allowed in Starfleet, they have to take a vow of celibacy.
I see.
That is what Memory Alpha claims. Maybe that was established by Enterprise. I don't know. But
I'm assuming that comes way later because this is her first appearance of this race in Star Trek.
Yes. Though, do we want to talk about Star Trek Phase 2?
We should. First, I should introduce what we're talking about, but yes, we should talk about Phase 2 because
because I was going to say she was going to be in Phase 2. So.
And then they didn't, but they gave her a job.
Yeah, but there's like screen test of her in the Phase 2 uniforms and all that kind of stuff.
That Phase 2 sounded interesting.
Yeah.
Right. And this would have been an episode instead of a movie, which might have been, better. I don't know.
What are we talking about?
Tell us what we're talking about.
Star Trek The Motion Picture, directed by Robert Wise, screenplay by Harold Livingston, and production company Paramount Pictures, and came out in 1979.
I was -4 years old.
I was more negative than that.
Let's say the resident old man of the Games My Mom Found network was not alive.
I'm the young one, I guess. I'm the young one here.
Out of us three, yes, but not by much. But yes.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy directed a lot of movies. Just
Robert Wise, the famously The Sound of Music, big one. A lot of other classic Hollywood films. Yeah.
Nothing I have ever seen.
You haven't even seen The Sound of Music?
No, never have.
Oh, wow.
We could do that. That's I was reluctant about watching that, and my son really wanted to watch it because he was in a production of it, and it was surprising. It was the first time I ever actually watched it. Was just like a couple of years ago, and it was surprisingly good.
Yeah, it has Nazis in it, Mike.
Yeah, I know that part.
They're the bad guys.
Yes,
where in reality, the people of that town were super happy to have the Nazis come in, but that's a whole other story.
I mean, that's kind of how it works. Look at 2024. People were really excited to welcome the Nazis back into power. So hey, it's not that far off.
I'm looking at his movies. He did the 1960s West Side Story. I saw that when I was in I think 8th grade. We read the play and then we watched the movie. So that's what I've seen. That's the only thing of his I've seen other than Sound of Music. Oh, he did the Andromeda Strain. I've never seen that though.
Maybe I've seen that.
Yeah, Michael Crichton novel, based on a Michael Crichton novel.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen that once.
It's like the first Michael Crichton movie, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so I've seen that. So I've seen one of his movies then besides this.
Mm-hmm.
Since my dad was a big movie buff, I've seen a bunch of them, bunch of his stuff, like Run Silent, Run Deep, The Sand Pebbles. They're like World War II movies, and they're pretty good. So
he was an editor on Citizen Kane.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the editor on Citizen Kane. Holy crap.
That's how you know he's good.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I would hate that movie if I watched it.
You might like Citizen Kane. I will say this. You just got to give.
I think you'll appreciate it.
You'll see a lot of parallels to the modern day in this.
I probably would appreciate it then. This movie I appreciate for what it is. I don't like it, but I appreciate it for what it is. But
I thought it was a great episode of Star Trek, the original series, with a higher budget. It did not seem like a movie at all.
I wouldn't even go that far. It was not a good episode of Star Trek.
Oh, I thought it was. I was surprised that I enjoyed it because I hadn't seen it. I saw it when I was like 10, and I remember thinking that it looked old and janky, and I didn't like it when I was 10. And I watched it today, and I was surprised. I was like, oh, this is actually mostly pretty good. It just doesn't feel like a movie. It feels like a a decent episode of Star Trek, a better than average episode of Star Trek, maybe.
Yeah, and I think part of that is because it was developed from the pilot for what we talked about very briefly, Star Trek Phase 2, which we can go into at some point. But I want to say, like, I feel like it's more like an art movie. I do like it, but I feel like you can tell, like, it's like maybe the artsiest Star Trek movie.
Yeah.
It's basically a tone poem or whatever.
It does have some surreal moments, like when they're going through the wormhole. Yeah.
I will get into that too, because I got things about it. Does someone want to talk about Star Trek Phase 2, kind of the background of this story?
I mean, I could talk about it a little bit. You might know more about it than I do.
Okay.
Basically, Star Trek, the original series, was only on TV for 3 years. It was canceled in, 69, 68, something like that?
I think 68, yeah.
Yeah, right. And so then in 77, Paramount said, we're going to make our own network, which became UPN when I was in, middle school in, the 90s. But they planned on doing it way back in the 70s. And one of the shows they wanted to do they wanted to do a Star Trek series. So the idea was they were going to make a sequel series to the original series, Star Trek, where we're with mostly the same crew on the Enterprise, but, 10 years later or however many years later. And so that's Star Trek Phase 2. And then when the Paramount Network didn't materialize, the show basically got canceled, and they took the pilot script and reworked it into a movie script for this movie. And they used a lot of the sets and costumes and stuff they had made for some of the not really a lot of the costumes, actually, because the director that they brought in, Robert Weiss, he thought that the colored costumes were too garish for film. He was like, that's too bright and garish. We need more neutral colors. So that's why they have the gray and white and blue uniforms. Gray, white, blue, beige, different kind of styles.
So he's the reason they suck.
Yeah.
Well, they also wanted to do a unisex because attitudes had changed in 10 years. So no more mini.
Seen the original series, they got the mini skirts, which you'll still see if you watch Next Generation. There's some people in the mini skirts in Next Generation occasionally, but it's men and women. So you'll see a guy walking by in the mini skirt too, which I'm like, well, that's progressive. That's pretty progressive for 1987. But Star Trek's always been progressive, except for when it steps in it sometimes, like, the Space Wakandans and the third episode of season 1 of Next Gen.
Terrible episode too.
Or the space hippies in original series, and so on. Go ahead.
And the attitudes to women,
Yes, and the attitudes to women. Though still, I think that for the time, Star Trek has always been ahead of its time.
Right. It was very good for its time.
Yeah, like Uhura being, having a black woman as an officer and department head on a TV series in 1966. That is crazy.
Right.
That's a really big deal.
Yeah, that caused them controversy.
She was going to quit, and Martin Luther King told her not to.
Right, yeah.
He said, the missus and I don't let our kids watch TV, but we all watch Star Trek. And it means a lot to my daughters to see a black woman on television in a positive role. Yeah, that's crazy. So I have a lot of respect for the original series. I'm not a big fan of the original series compared to, whereas Next Gen and Deep Space Nine is like one of my favorite shows of all time. We're starting, my family, we're actually going to be watching Next Gen starting tomorrow. We're skipping the first 2 seasons though. I just did like a recap of the first 2 seasons for them, and we're starting on season 3.
There's a guy named Q.
Yeah, I did. I went through, I just showed them a picture of every character on the show that they should know by now, including Q. I ended with Q.
Right. Did you show them the evil slime that's going to kill Tasha?
No, I did explain Tasha though. I just said, and she dies, and that's how Worf gets promoted. But she'll come back, sort of.
It's you can die and still come back in Star Trek. So
yes, well, it's not really her.
Wars too.
We'll see.
Yeah,
that's what
other realities or a clone.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, so Star Trek Phase 2.
Wars, you just somehow return.
Star Trek Phase 2 was canceled, and so then they took that pilot script and kind of rewrote it, reworked it. But to me, it really just still feels like the pilot script. It does not feel like a movie. But there are certain things that got carried over from the pilot to this that makes sense if you think about it. So like the captain that he kind of temporarily demotes, Captain Derek? Is that Decker. He was actually supposed to be the first officer on Phase 2 because they thought, we may not afford we may not be able to afford to keep Shatner on past season 1, and so we may want to have at some point Shatner leave and have Decker become the captain. And when they did Next Gen, Will Riker is a Decker stand-in, basically.
Right.
He's supposed to be the Decker. Yeah. Have kind of the same vibe, and even the name sounds similar. And similarly, Ilya, is that her name? Ilya? Lieutenant Ilya, the scientist? Ilya, right. God, what was her job? Was she the communications? No.
I don't even know what her job was.
They said what her job was. Well, anyway, she was she's kind of the Deanna Troi. And they're going to do they really recycled their aborted storyline in Next Gen. They recycled a lot of stuff from Phase 2 in Next Gen, including sets from this movie.
Yeah, like including and the very great main theme song was recycled.
Yes,
oh yeah,
the main theme. Yep,
from Jerry
Goldsmith. Yeah,
Goldsmith. Yeah, but yeah, the whole thing with Ilya was like, yeah, she was going to be this like, hot person that used to have a thing with Decker, but now they don't because she's taking this oath of celibacy. And over the course of Phase 2, they were going to do a will they, won't they with them, And that's what they do with Troi and Riker in Next Gen. So it's kind of interesting how they you can see the engineering set. They use that exact same engineering set in Next Gen, except for they moved the elevator, and then they reuse that engineering set again in Voyager and put the elevator back.
Yeah,
it's just kind of they just repaint it. Make it look a little newer, put some new glowy things in the Borg core, but it's the same set. The hallways they walk down, there's a hallway there's this one hallway they walk down that's like hexagonal, and it's blue in this movie, but in Next Gen it's beige, but it's the same set that they use for their corridors and that. And I think it was interesting how they recycle a bunch of the stuff. You also notice the insignia that they're wearing is very similar to the one that they kind of bring back in the later Next Gen movies. I thought was interesting.
I did not notice any of this.
Yeah. Though maybe that's, but anyway, so it's a lot of stuff. I ended up, after I watched it, I watched about 30 minutes of the commentary that was on the DVD. Yeah. It's, which it's like, it's the Reeves Stevens pair, Judith and Garfield, they're like Star Trek Expanded Universe authors, but they also have written like tech manuals and art books and stuff. And they later came and wrote episodes for Enterprise. It's the Okudas, who the Okuda panels are named after, who are they're like the set directors and artists and stuff.
Yeah, he's like a font of knowledge about Star Trek. Yeah. Like he was behind the scenes for years. So
so Michael and Denise Okuda are on there. And then Darren Doctorman, who is the visual effects supervisor for Voyager, he came back and did the visual effects on the director's cut motion picture. And he's on the commentary. And so it's super interesting because he's explaining like how they remastered stuff and how they updated the effects to look better and all that in this version compared to the theatrical release. And, of course you got Okuda on there and they're just like constantly like, oh, this was used in this. Oh, you see that set? That was in Next Gen. That was in Voyager. That was in Deep Space Nine. It was really actually, I was like, oh, listen to this commentary for 5 minutes, just see what it's about. And I ended up watching it for 30 something minutes. But then eventually they just stopped talking or just watching the movie for a while. I'm like, no, guys, I'm going to keep talking.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's Phase 2. Aborted TV series that was going to feature the original cast, but they weren't going to have Leonard Nimoy. They weren't even planning to ask him back for Phase 2.
They were fighting with him.
Yeah, so he wasn't going to be on it.
I mean, he wasn't paid in full for the Star Trek series. He was mad. And
he had good reason.
Yeah, he should.
Yeah. Good reason to be mad. I mean, but yeah, they were keeping pretty much everyone else, I think.
Yeah.
And then bringing on more people. So
it sounded like they were just going to have like the main cast here and there, and they weren't going to be like big characters, like just
I don't know.
They couldn't afford them type of thing.
I think they were prepared to not be able to afford them was kind of the thing. Yeah.
And that was in development hell for a long time until a little movie called Star Wars came out. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which came out in 1977, and they said, we got to make this a movie because space is in. And so they greenlit a gigantic budget. This movie cost, I think, $40 million, which I looked up, which is about $200 million in our current modern day dollars. So it's a giant budget. I think Star Wars had a budget of $10 million or something, this is like 4 times Star Wars' budget. Yeah.
Well, this wasn't supposed to be that high. They just kept fucking up.
Right. Well, yes. It's a kind of a troubled history. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like I was watching something where the first company they hired to do the special effects, they paid them, and they only made one special effect for what they paid them for, and then they ended up in a legal battle with them. So like that's how you.
The guy who eventually ended up doing it, Douglas Trumbull, I believe he did 2001: A Space Odyssey, Close Encounters. Like he's a giant, and Blade Runner later. Like he's like a special effects wizard. So that's why it looks so good. Like they hired the best people to do it. Yeah.
I mean, it does. I know that the models are beautiful.
Yeah. And they want to show you the models. Like the first scene with the Klingon ship, they like go around it. I think everyone at this time was doing everyone at this time. Yeah, it's great.
I love it.
They wanted to do the Star Destroyer from Star Wars.
Right.
So this is their version of that. If you watch Alien, they do that too, where they do the ship coming up
with the Nostromo. Yeah.
And they think in the Black Hole they do that, which also came out the same year.
I don't know what that is.
That's a Disney movie. It was inspired by Star Wars. They said we got to do space.
You said the Black Hole, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alien was the same way. And also a little movie called Moonraker was also because of Star Wars. It came out the same year. They were like, we got to do space because that's in. So all these movies came out the same time. And it's like, we got to capitalize on the Star Wars craze.
Yeah.
Anyway, the models look lovely and they do a loving shot in most, and the Klingon ships and then the Enterprise later. They just want you to look at it because they spend a lot of money on it. So they're like, we're going to show the hell out of this thing.
I do like the models.
Yeah.
I mean, the way this movie looks is amazing.
It does. It really is beautiful. And they were like consulting like I don't know if they're fan made or what, but like schematics and stuff when they were building it. I was watching and they were talking about that in the commentary about how like they're actually like showing things that are in the ship's schematics basically that were never shown in the show.
Yeah.
Like the recreation deck.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like I feel like
was really neat.
Yeah, it was. And it looks very 70s with like low lounges, low couches that are like orange or whatever, or like brown or something.
But the whole point of that was they wanted to be able to show, this is how many people are on the ship.
Right.
Because in the TV show, we can never see more than like maybe a dozen people, right? So we're going to show like all like 200 something people. I was looking at the crowd and there's like a bunch of aliens that look better than what you had ever seen in the original series. And then there is like an Inuit woman.
Yeah, there definitely have there's a Native American. There was some guy with like feathers in his hair or something.
Yeah. There's definitely a couple.
But there's an Inuit woman. She had like the very distinctive like Inuit bead stuff on and everything. And I was like, that's cool. That's neat.
Yeah.
I was reading up on it, and apparently extras were like they put out like a call for Star Trek fans.
Okay.
And so it was like a bunch of Star Trek fans getting a chance to be basically in the movie. And then they said most of the checks were not cashed because the people probably like framed their check.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
That's what was like suggested. That might be what it was. Not posited. There you go.
Right.
Most people.
It's a fun story to tell. Yeah.
Yeah. Most people don't keep their checks. Usually, most people cash them. I do know people who keep them for some reason sometimes.
It's a good apocryphal story. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. That's what. There you go. Apocryphal.
And I'm sure it wasn't a big check.
But yeah, I thought it. It was really beautiful. I was showing it to my son, and he's like, "Oh, this looks really good." I'm surprised. I thought this was going to look terrible because of how old it is. I was
like,
"Yeah, me too." I'm also surprised at how good it looks. But then he immediately caught like an editing mistake, or not really editing mistake, but a special effects mistake that you would not have been able to see, and probably on. Well, I don't know. Maybe you would have been able to see it on the big screen, but when they're in the dry dock or the space dock or whatever. And it's panning over Earth, Earth is behind it, rotating. The clouds of Earth will occasionally occlude the dock they're on. Which I thought was funny.
It's funny that he points that out, but
it looks so much better than the original series looked. Because the original series, if you watch that on like an HD TV, you can see like the fishing line they're hanging the models with and shit. And this is like, no, it looks legitimately really good. Not quite as good as Star Wars 2 years later, but close.
Well, they were going for a different thing, so.
Yeah, I think one thing you'll notice, at least, the ship doesn't really... It flies, but it's not doing like acrobatic stuff. Like it's just the ship's kind of very stacked. The Enterprise, I should say, it has a name.
Yeah.
So you see it from the front or back. You rarely see it in later movies. You see it like move around and like shoot phasers and things. But this movie, it's very focused, and I guess I assume because they had motion control, they had it like situated there, and they didn't have the ability to really make it do fancy flying or whatever. So
right, they actually they don't even use the phasers at all, do they?
No,
they don't.
threaten
No.
to, and then they don't.
They posit, and it's said what the Decker says that they're tied to the engines now,
Right.
and so that's why they don't use them in the wormhole. And then it just never comes up the rest of the show. There's never any reason to use them.
It's a rare Star Trek movie. Yeah,
because that's what I say.
This
This movie is more like a TV show, like a TV episode, because the TV series, most of the time, it's politics and morality, not action, and then especially the modern TNG movies are just action movies, and Picard is just bloodthirsty at times, and it's like, this is not Star Trek. This is not like the most Star Trek of the Star Trek movies is probably Generations.
Well, this
and
one,
people don't like
cast.
Of the Next Gen cast. I mean, of the Next Gen movies, Generations is the most Star Trek of all those movies. With these, I would say this is the most Star Trek of the original series movies. This and 4 to an extent,
Yeah, it's a kind of about seeking new life, boldly going where no one's gone before. It's not about fighting off a villain, which in the Kelvin universe, J.J. Abrams, it's all like there's an evil villain. He has a plot to destroy Earth. And they fight on a big ship, and the final battle, they're like fighting over a reactor core or something on a platform and fist fighting and all this stuff. Yeah.
And I'm not a fan, honestly.
Right.
I honestly kind of hate the Kelvin time movies.
This is definitely more an adventure movie. It's not action adventure, but it's like you're going on an adventure.
And it's stuff happens. It's a little slow, maybe a little too slow, but I think it feels like a 1 hour episode, a 45-minute episode of Star Trek stretched out to 2 hours is what it feels like.
That is, yeah.
And I think if you edited this down into a 45-minute episode, it would be considered one of the best episodes of the original series, I think.
I mean, I just don't even like the plot, which we haven't mentioned yet. I mean, it is a plot. I mean, the plot of this movie essentially is Earth is going to be destroyed by some powerful force, and Shatner forced his way onto the Enterprise, and they're going to go meet this force and try to stop it.
And they're the only ship.
It turns out the Force is basically an emissary from a civilization of living machines, and they found the Voyager 6 spacecraft that was sent.
Fictional.
So it's not the real one. Oh.
Yeah, there's only Voyager 1 and 2.
Okay. See, as a kid, I just assumed this was the Voyager spacecraft that we actually sent beyond, that left our solar system a few years ago, that the pale blue dot was taken from.
Yeah.
I always assumed that's what this was. Oh, well, that would be it would be so much better if that's what this was.
I think it was an attempt to be like, we kept sending out probes.
We kept sending, Yeah, but why?
They sent it out in the 90s, and I'm like, well, this movie comes out in 79, so that's when I realized it wasn't real. I thought it was real. Why make it a
different one? We had already sent Voyager by now, hadn't we?
I'm not sure why. That had like the golden record and the famous image of the man and woman.
Right. Why not use that? That would have been great. Well, anyway, so they found the Voyager 6 deep space probe. And they basically took it as a message from the machine of Earth. They figured that Earth must also be ruled by a machine creator. And so they want to come and talk to it. And they keep finding carbon-based life forms, which they view as like bacteria, basically. They view carbon-based life forms as like an infection. So they are not actually, this species, which calls itself V'ger, is not really necessarily hostile. It's just trying to contact the being that sent Voyager and is getting rid of infestations as it goes along. But I think that's a great, like, very typical Star Trek plot, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, of like, you've got a life form that is beyond our understanding, that doesn't understand us, and so its actions appear hostile at first, but it's really not hostile. It just doesn't understand us, and then you need a peaceful diplomatic captain to talk to it. And I'm just going to say, if Picard had been in charge, nobody would have been lost. Picard would have taken care of this. Decker would not have had to sacrifice himself. Picard would have had this all taken care of. But Kirk did a very good job also, ultimately.
That's funny though you say that, because you're right. Like, yeah, Picard would have ran this thing so differently.
Yeah. But I don't know. Probably someone would have died. Some red shirt would have died with Picard also. But who knows? But yeah, basically Voyager ended up at a machine planet, and the machine planet basically reprogrammed it to be an emissary, and then just followed its path back to Earth. And yeah, it's just along the way, some Klingons came across it, and of course they're Klingons. So what's their first thing to do? They fire torpedoes at it.
Yeah.
And so it responds by, deleting them.
Notably, these are the first Klingons that appear in the modern makeup. And the original series, they did not have like forehead ridges and stuff. They were kind of
right.
Yeah,
in 10 years they evolved.
Yeah. So they look like
this is explained by Worf in Deep Space Nine in the
it's explained in Enterprise. Yeah.
Yeah. Trials and Tribulations is the name of the Deep
I love that episode too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because the Klingons spent centuries hunting the Tribbles, and the Klingons that did that evolved and then came back and bred with the other Klingons or something. It still doesn't make any sense.
He doesn't say what it is. It was a tongue-in-cheek thing. He says we do not discuss it. Yeah.
We don't discuss it.
They say those are Klingons, and Worf says
at some point it's explained, but it might be Enterprise that you're thinking of.
It is explained in Enterprise.
It's Enterprise I'm thinking of. Okay.
I won't get into it, but it's explained in a weird way. Anyway.
I mean, Enterprise is my fourth favorite Star Trek, but it's like a distant fourth. It's like worth watching once and then never watching again.
I watched it twice all the way through. I liked it a lot, but
well, it's okay. Anyway, I like Archer. Anyway,
one thing I want to say is Kirk coming in here and just taking over the Enterprise from the guy who was supposed to do the job, who knows the ship. That's a real asshole move.
Position.
He is an admiral, though.
Yeah.
So he does outrank him.
But it's still an asshole
the thing
move.
is if it was actually the Navy and it was a really important thing, an admiral would come on board and it would just be like, well, of course the admiral will take charge.
Right.
Right? Like, that's not that crazy to think that he would just be like, just for this mission, I'm going to be in charge. You're still the captain.
It is, yeah. But in the course of the movie, it seemed like a dick move, and he has to be corrected. Like, actually, Captain, you don't know this ship as well as I do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He would have gotten them all killed.
The backstory is Kirk's been in the office for like 2 years or whatever. Right. And he misses the hunt, misses like the game of starships, but he's not used to the new Enterprise, which looks different than the old Enterprise because it was refit. So it's not the same ship. It doesn't look the same as it did on the TV show because they wanted to update it. So
it looks mostly the same, but yeah, it's got some differences. Right. And yeah, like when they're in the wormhole, he would have gotten the crew killed if Decker had not basically overrode him.
Right.
And he has to have Bones basically tell him, yeah, he's not wrong. You're right. He's right.
That's another dick move. How he pulls Bones out of retirement and just has him drafted. Like,
yeah, he has him drafted.
Like he's in a disco suit. Like he's probably in the middle of like a cocaine fueled party or something.
Yes. Yeah. He has like a wild beard and a disco medallion.
He has like a gold chain. Like he might have been in the middle of an orgy or something. You never know. And they're like, McCoy, you got to come up.
And the thing is, why? Because what on earth does it matter who the medical officer is on this mission?
If I'm not mistaken, I feel like I could be wrong. They don't really explain it. Well, they do have the transport accident. I think one of them was the doctor. One of them was because 2 people die in the transport.
One of them was the science officer.
It's the science officer, and it's an admiral that's not described in this movie at all, but in the book written about this movie. Thank YouTube. That's who died. She was there to keep an eye on Kirk so he didn't get too idiotic.
Oh, okay, all right.
So his babysitter got killed. I also don't like that scene.
Wasn't it his wife?
No, I don't know.
It was okay. Go ahead. I
mean, he think he would have, if it was his wife, I think he'd be a little more upset. He doesn't seem that phased. He's like, oh, I need a new science officer.
Wait till you see the second movie. You'll see. He's not married, but he has a lover in the second movie.
I have seen the second movie, but same as when I saw this one, it was over. It's been over like easy 10 years, if not like 15. It's been a long fucking time.
What were you going to say about you're going to say you don't like the transport accident scene, Mike?
Because I think it's stupid.
I think
at this point in Star Trek, even the original series, they even say like, yeah, we got this thing pretty mastered by now.
I think it's great only because, I mean, it was a malfunction on the ship, which was being refitted. So it was like a 1 in a million chance.
Okay.
I like it only because it adds a little bit of horror to it. Like, I think it's a very chilling scene. And
it is.
They're like, they're like, oh God, they're forming. And there's like a ethereal scream or whatever from one of these people. And they say, what come back didn't live long, fortunately. And it's like, oh God, that's terrifying.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it is it's just the fact that like beaming is such a regular thing in Star Trek in this time. Like that's something that I expect from like Enterprise or anything that takes place early on, not this far into where it's such a normal technology.
Well,
like an elevator does.
I mean, it's going to happen at some point. I feel like, and Next Gen, Geordi, I think, says like there has been a transport accident in 50 years or something like that or something. So it's supposed to be really safe, but occasionally something goes wrong.
Okay. That's fair enough. It was just one of those things where it kind of was like, I mean, this just felt like, introduced this Vulcan just to kill him.
Yeah, well, I think they wanted to show what happens when the transporter goes wrong. So,
and then they all kind of take it they kind of get taken over real fast. Like, oh,
I mean, yeah, they're like, I'll write a letter to their families or whatever. Yeah. I mean, shit happens. They're basically in the military. In the military, you die. In the Navy, sometimes people die. So it's like you gotta move on.
Okay, I found what I was looking for. In the motion picture novelization, the female transporter accident victim was identified as Lori Siana, a science officer who was Captain Kirk's ex-wife.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
that's what it was. So that was like, yeah.
That seems needless.
Yeah, it does, right? And also, if that was what is supposed to be in the movie, he does not react the way he should.
No, he doesn't.
He reacts like he's upset. He's upset. He's horrified. He just saw two people die in a horrible, painful way, screaming as they died. But he doesn't act like his ex-wife just died.
No.
So anyway, I'm sorry. I had heard that on the comment. They said it offhandedly on the commentary. Denise Okuda just casually mentioned that was supposed to be his wife, and they laughed and moved on. And I was like, "Wait, what?" And so I had to go look. I had to look it up, and I found it. It's in the novelization.
I'm picturing Rodney Dangerfield going like, "Well, finally, somebody took care of her."
Right. and the actress that played her is Bruce Banner's girlfriend from The Incredible Hulk.
Okay.
Or it's not Bruce Banner in the TV show. Is David Banner? Is that his name in the TV show? Anyway, the Hulk. He's the Hulk's girl. She's the Hulk's girlfriend. She's hot.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, I'm sorry. I was just bugging me out. I'm like, no, I know it's something about his wife. What is the deal? Okay.
No, hey, I'm glad that you figured it out because it would be an important thing if this movie did anything with it. I mean, but they bothered to write it down, so.
Yeah, but anyway, the whole purpose of the transporter accident is so that there will be a place for Spock whenever he shows up.
Right.
Oh, good point.
They're going to go in. Yeah. They're not going to have a science officer. He tells poor Decker, who he just keeps cucking, that now he's going to have to be science officer and first officer. and then the Spock shows up and it's like, never mind, Spock will take your spot. And Decker's cool with it because, Decker's not a science officer anyway, and Spock is. He's like, no, Spock's good. I know all about Mr. Spock. He's cool.
Yeah, when Spock comes on, everyone's excited to see him. They're like, oh, thank God it's Spock. And Spock does not give any emotion. I mean, of course, he's Vulcan.
He is like less emotional than normal, even.
Right.
About it.
Well, he was trying to
all your friends are. Yeah.
Failed.
Also, I don't know which version of this movie you guys watched, but I'm watching, like, right now, the theatrical trailer for it. And it looks the DVD I watched looks so much better. Like, it looks like almost a different movie.
I watched Go ahead, Mike.
Watch the Blu-ray?
Yeah, I watched the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray has the theatrical cut. It still looks good. I know it has some remastering, but not like the new special effects and stuff that they did. Right. Like there's a lot of computer-generated stuff in the 2000s re-release, and I didn't see that. So
that's what I watched.
Yeah, the one I watched, I didn't see anything that
nothing like Star Wars.
But
well, yeah, it doesn't have like a big Ronto appear in the middle of Starfleet.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing crazy like that.
No, it just looks good. It just looks. It looks like it looks good. It looks really good. Just the color grading and everything is better. The color balance is better. The comps look a lot better also.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I like that sort of thing. I feel like they're pushing that as the only way to watch it. I feel like Star Wars, you should be able to watch both.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yes. As long as I want to be able to watch every version of a movie. Exactly.
I do. Yeah. In principle, I'm against it, but I don't. As long as you make the other one available, just because a movie is of its time and it should reflect the time, and I don't want to revise anything. But it's director's.
I don't want to change things. Right. I just like cleaning it up, I guess is what I would say. Like I don't want to. Don't add anything.
And
don't add anything. Don't delete.
Sell it.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't add, don't replace, just make what is there look better. Like I saw actually the first time I ever saw Alien, I saw it in 4K in the theater right before the pandemic in 2019.
Sure. Yeah.
And that was freaking amazing, but they didn't change anything. They just, upscaled it to 4K,
Exactly.
and it just looks beautiful, but it looks so much better than like the Star Wars special editions look, for instance.
I like them, but they got issues.
Yeah, but this, anyway, I was gonna say another thing. Just speaking of visual stuff, the new uniforms. I like Kirk's dress uniform from when he arrives on the ship. All the other uniforms are bad, especially Decker's onesie that he only wears in the first couple of scenes he's in, where you could just see his junk really clearly, and they mentioned that on the commentary too. Denise Okuda goes, "Whoa!" And that's a bit of a form-fitting uniform, isn't it?
Yeah, they were definitely going for a different tone. Like you said about the colors, they wouldn't have worked as well according to the filmmakers.
Right.
But by the next film, they abandoned it. The next film, they go with red uniforms, and they continue that throughout the rest of the film series.
Yeah, I've never been a fan. I've never been a fan of the red uniforms, the ones in the other movies.
Well, to each their own.
Oh, you like them? Yeah, I mean, I like them. They're better than this. Yeah.
They're not like I think they're not like Star Trek as we think of them. They're very like, I don't know how you describe it. Like they're more militaristic. They're kind of like fancy dress uniforms.
Galactica a little bit.
Yeah, but it's a different aesthetic. I think like each era should have its own aesthetic. Like, and it should be in the Star Trek universe. You should be able to tell which era you're in just by looking at it. So I like
agree with that comment.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, no, I get that. I grew up on Next Gen, so my favorite uniforms are the Next Gen season 3 and beyond uniforms.
Yeah, those are classic. They're iconic. Yeah. So
the uniforms bugged me too in this. Sure. Just because I watched too much Star Trek in the past, so I'm like, these don't last long. So,
yeah, how would you describe it? It's like was you said cruise ship, cruise wear or something, or like I don't know, like
when he has the white short sleeve uniform.
Yeah,
he looks like a cruise captain. He's like, all right, join me on the Lido deck, and
they have like wristbands with like communicators on them. It's the only movie where they do that.
Oh, they have fanny packs.
Right. They were trying to be like high tech, but it just kind of looks weird. And that's why this movie is unique in that it was trying new things that they quickly abandoned. So
yeah, the fanny packs are basically supposed to be tricorders, according to the Okudas.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, they call them. They said they're supposed to be medical scanners, actually, specifically. But
okay, they do say tricorder in this movie at least once.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. I don't think
when.
Oh yeah, they have the tricorder that Ilya has when she's like scanning the probe before she gets assimilated. It looks kind of like a cross. It looks almost like the tricorders in the new in Next Generation. It's a little clunkier looking than the Next Gen ones. But if you remember, the tricorders in original series is like a big box with a like microphone attached to it. Basically, it looks like like a wire. It's got like a wire, like a wire and like a probe that you hold in your hand. It actually kind of reminds me of like a dosimeter, like for scanning for like radiation. You know?
Oh, that's fair.
But anyway, the one she has in this is a little more like the ones in Next Gen. You just notice it because whenever she gets assimilated, she drops it and it like bounces into the chair she's standing next to.
Oh, so that's what that was that dropped. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's what I assumed it was because I think she was standing there like trying to scan it when it started like scanning her, I guess.
Yeah, I do find it like the two new people that they get are the two people that get murdered in this movie.
Well, yeah, that's why you should always be wary of being a new person, and it's like you're not part of the main cast. Something might happen to you. Yeah,
I wonder if they were thinking that if this movie worked, that they would then go into that they would bring back Phase 2.
Yeah,
bring Phase 2 back from the grave. That could be.
This movie was successful.
Not the level they wanted, but yeah.
Not the level they wanted, but it made, $80 million at the time, which equivalent to making like $300 million today.
Yeah, I mean, that's like
in the US.
Double their budget, right?
That's like what Wicked Part 2 made or whatever. I looked it up. I was like, okay, well.
Yeah, that's like really, I mean, that is legitimately really good.
I mean, back then, movies didn't make a lot. Movies didn't make like $500 million. If you made $50 million, you were a big hit. So what was the big, I think Alien might have been the top grossing movie of that year, which is another sci-fi movie. So
yeah.
Oh, that's 79 also?
Yeah. Like I said, These are all products of Star Wars. Star Wars came out, and 2 years later, everybody's responding to Star Wars with their own like franchise in space.
So the top grossing movies of '79 are in the United States and Canada are Kramer versus Kramer.
Oh yeah.
Followed by Amityville Horror and then Rocky 2.
Okay.
And according to this, it says other big ones of 1979 include. Let me see. I don't want to listen to it. This is number 5. Right ahead of Alien. Right ahead of Alien. It outperformed.
Yeah, so this made more money than Alien, which is insane.
Just barely. Yeah, 82 million. This made 82 million. Alien made 80.9, so almost 81 million. So like it beat Alien by 1.3 million.
Yeah.
But yeah, Apocalypse Now, Rocky 2 and Apocalypse Now both made about Apocalypse Now is 83, Rocky 2 is 85. So yeah. The Muppet movie did number 7. Interesting.
What a year for movies. You know,
yeah. 10 with Bo Derek. I know that 10 starred Bo Derek because of Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
So she's like a 10.
It was a different time.
The Jerk, number 9.
A lot of these are like comedies or dramas with like adult themes, R-rated adult movies that like the fact that they made like hundreds of millions of dollars in today's money is insane to me. And nowadays they would never even they would be on Netflix or something,
Yeah,
right. This and Alien are the only sci-fi movies.
Yeah.
Unless you
Kramer versus Kramer would never make, $500 million, whatever it
Kramer versus Kramer would be like that artsy Oscar contender that no one's heard of.
And it made $7 million.
It would be the Hamnet of 1979.
Right. I miss the time. I miss that time in America, but I know we're past it. We don't do that anymore with films.
We were trying to go back in time in America, though.
Yes. Well, in the wrong direction.
I wonder what the budget was on Kramer versus Kramer too, because it had to be $8 million. And it made 173 million off of an $8 million budget.
That's a huge percentage. That's like I don't know how much percentage. That's incredible.
Ridiculous.
Right.
But Alien was only 14 million.
And that made
it made 80. It made 80. So but yeah, this is 40 and made 82 off of 40.
Crazy.
Rocky 2 made 85 off of Rocky 2 eventually made 200 million off of 7 million.
That's crazy.
But it made 85 in that year. But still, Rocky 2 had a $7 million budget. It was less than Kramer versus Kramer.
Wow.
But I guess Kramer versus Kramer, you've got Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep, right?
Yeah, that's probably most of the budget then.
Legends.
Yeah, right, exactly. And whereas, Rocky 2, you got Stallone and Carl Weathers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Carl Weathers, who was nobody before Rocky 1, really.
Right.
So anyway, sorry. I love talking about box office and budget. Like I find it super interesting.
I do too. I'm glad we had that diversion though. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, there's only so much to say about this movie, so you're making the episode longer, so thank you.
Well, I wanted to say that this movie is definitely influenced by 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah,
like it's
in multiple places.
Wormhole. Yeah,
the wormhole felt like it just came out of nowhere. Well, it did come out of nowhere.
Right.
It felt like it came out of nowhere for the movie as well. Both contextual, both in a meta sense and actually literally in the movie. It just felt a little contrived.
It was a little long for me.
And it was too long. And it was like, we want to show off our newfangled special effects, show off this budget we've got. And it'll also serve the purpose of making us like Decker so that when he dies, we actually care.
Right.
I guess. And it's also to show that, Kirk is wrong.
Right. And I get it, but it just, I don't know. It seems it's pretty silly. It's just a silly scene. Everybody's talking so like, Captain, we have to go. And I don't know. Yeah.
I don't.
They do a much better in one of the later movies. They do a much better trippy scene like that. And think in Star Trek 4 when they go back in time, it's done. Right. It's handled. Yeah.
But also, why was there an asteroid in a warp tunnel?
So it got sucked into their. The engines were the warp core was not properly calibrated yet, and it created like basically a vortex, like a gravitational vortex, and sucked in any nearby matter. And the asteroid just happened to be close enough that it got sucked in. And then having the asteroid plus the ship in the same warp bubble caused a rip in space time that created the wormhole.
So I was watching this movie
it's an unstable wormhole also. So to be clear for people that are like Deep Space Nine, right? that wormhole is like 1 in a billion because it's stable. Wormholes are usually not stable.
Oh yeah,
So,
I remember that. There's stuff in Deep Space Nine about that, about other wormholes they find.
Well, yeah, there's a great. I mean, there's I think a great episode of TNG that's brought back in a great episode of Voyager about that, where they think they've discovered a stable wormhole, and there's like negotiations over who's going to own the rights to it, and the Ferengi go into it, and it turns out it's not stable, and they get tossed to the Gamma Quadrant.
Oh, and they come back and
then Voyager or Delta
Gamma,
Quadrant, right? Gamma is the Dominion. Yeah. And and then in Voyager they're in the Delta Quadrant, and they come across the planet those Ferengi ended up going to, and basically making themselves gods.
I've only watched Voyager once.
A great concept.
I don't remember Voyager very well.
Voyager is my third favorite, but I'm a big fan of Voyager. I think Voyager is just silly enough for me to still like it, where Stranger Worlds is too silly for me to still like it. Voyager is just silly enough for me to still like it.
It has a lot of gems in Voyager. And I think after Voyager, the gems are...
Oh, yeah, a lot of gems, yeah.
I should rewatch it someday, because I watched it when I went through the rest of the series, so...
It's a good show to have on time.
Yeah, it's a good laundry folding show. It's not as good as TNG or Deep Space Nine, but it's still good. And it has some really, really good episodes. And its bad episodes are fine, is the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it has any episodes that are just like unwatchably bad, the way I think, season 1 of TNG does, for instance.
And there are definitely some original series episodes that are very cringy, that are just...
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the original series has some great episodes in it, and it's where all this stuff comes from, but at the same time, it has episodes that are really bad, too. Like, it's the original series.
The original series is more like the Twilight Zone.
Right.
And so it's got its better episodes are, I guess is the better way to put it.
Right. Yeah.
But it has some really dumb stuff, and the dumbest episodes of TNG are recycled original series episodes.
Right. Yeah.
Or recycled original series scripts that were unused. Like, they're straight up just, when you're watching the first 2 seasons of TNG, you'll see an episode and go, "Oh, this was an original series script. That was supposed to be Kirk. That was supposed to be Spock. What Wesley's doing here, that would have been Chekhov." But anyway,
that's what they did though in these shows. So yeah.
But anyway, I thought this was. I mean, having the
honestly,
original, to me, this is better than the original series to me. Honestly,
okay,
for me personally, which I'll say I haven't seen the original series since I was a kid. I need to go back and watch it as an adult and give it a better shot. But to me, I liked this. I felt like this was like a perfectly good original series episode, better than most of season 1 or 2 of Next Generation, even. And I love Next Generation, but I'd watch this before I'd watch the Naked Now or whatever, or 0100010010010, whatever the hell episode.
Oh, you're talking about the one where they upgrade the ship and they only speak lead?
Yeah, the one with Minuet.
Yeah, that's not a great episode.
And Kirk Riker and Picard are competing over a hologram woman named Minuet, which gets brought back in a really interesting way much later.
Right, I do remember that. Yeah,
or I don't know how much later it is, but where
it's like years later. It's years later.
It's where they bring Minuet. Like people trying to make Riker think they basically have Riker in a simulation. It's one of the Riker in a simulation episodes, which there's more.
The Romulan?
And
well, no, there's multiple twists to the episode. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but they one of the characters is Minuet. No. There's a picture of Minuet in his quarters. That's what it is.
Yeah, and that's how you realize it's a simulation.
And that's how he realizes it's in a simulation.
Yeah.
That's a good episode, though, from what I remember.
It is. It is actually a good episode. It's just they recycle that plot a bunch of times. There's a Deep Space Nine episode.
Rewatch. Damn it.
Yeah, there's like at least one Deep Space Nine episode where they have just kidnapped someone to make them think make them think it's real. They do it to Geordi twice. They do it to Riker twice. They do it to
Kira. They make her a Cardassian, and they try to say, "Oh, you were always a Cardassian."
Yes, that's one of my favorite episode too. That's such a good episode.
It's common among Star Trek. I don't know if they do it on they probably do it on Voyager too, but
yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's one of the Star Trek recycled tropes that works usually.
There's the fake Starfleet Academy created by Species 4279.
Right.
Also, Anyway, sorry.
This is going to be a fun journey.
Talk about anything but Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
I mean, to be fair, this movie doesn't have a lot to it. It's a very pretty movie.
Doesn't. It's stretched. It's very little and stretched.
It's like a half hour of slowly going through tunnels. Maybe not a half hour, but it's like...
And even when you run into a Voyager, what do they call it? Voyager. Like, there's not a whole lot with it either.
No, they don't confront it or anything. Just go and be like, well, they walk up to it, which it's a very interesting design of them walking these steps.
They walk out on the on the outside of the ship.
And that's cool. Like, that hasn't been shown before. And then they go there, it's just there, and then it's like, and it's 5 minutes later, they're like, Captain or Decker says, I must go with Ilea.
He just decides, I'm gonna die because the girl that I liked years ago has been assimilated, so I'm just gonna be assimilated too. It's fine.
It's like, okay.
It felt really dumb.
Yeah, and like you said, Picard would not have allowed that. He's like, no. We're gonna...
Yeah, absolutely not. You're not gonna die just so we can do this. We'll figure something else out.
It wasn't much of a try. I mean, it felt like Kirk's like, that's fine, I don't like you anyway, so you can leave. It's okay.
For everybody, really. It's like, thank God.
Like, I didn't want to fight a job that I want to keep, so this works out. I don't know, it just, and the fact, like, it's the old wires, like, because it's supposed to be, from Earth at the 90s. I was like, this is so stupid.
It's a little silly, for sure. It's
very much its time.
And I think they realize it, so they do course correct in the next movie, but like they realized that like this is a little bit too cerebral and slow for the audiences. Like, we need to go more action oriented, or you need to have at least things happening in it.
We need to have some ship combat, because this has no ship combat other than
no ship combat, no phasers. I don't know if they ever shoot. Like, they never shoot their guns, basically.
They never even... I don't even think they pull a phaser in the
No, I don't think so. They might be one. Oh, they have those guards, weird guards with, like, helmets. The security guards.
That's right.
And they might have phasers. They quickly got rid of that. Yeah, they quickly decided that's silly. So they got rid of that.
They're referencing DS9, but from a different time era. Because you see that type of style in DS9, but it's from a different era of the humans. Okay. I watched too much Star Trek also, by the way.
I mean, it's great. There's worse things to watch, I think.
I mean, I might go back through it again, because like you're watching this movie and talking about it is getting me the itch to go back through it again.
I'm currently rewatching DS9 and I love it. Like, I love like the little episodes. The writing's so good, and part of it's just because they used to submit, I don't know, they used to have different writers. The modern Trek has like 2 writers, and they're showrunners for the whole show. And old episodes used to like submit, you could spec scripts. So a random person could submit a script, and you could then have it, if you got lucky, you could have it made into an episode. And it happened all the time in the 90s. And they don't do that anymore, which I think is a detriment to it. So
yeah. I mean, I'm not a fan of the good stuff. I'm not a fan of the Paramount Plus Star Trek shows very much. I found a way to enjoy Discovery for the first couple of seasons, but it was like I was enjoying it like, oh, this is, it's fine. Like this, it's not really Star Trek, but it's okay. But it just got worse and worse as it went. But I don't know. It's one of those things, and it's like I'm going to get myself canceled, but it's like I'm woke. I am, I swear. But it's like it's too much. It's like prime. If that makes sense.
I know what you mean.
It's performatively, it feels performatively woke, I guess what I'm trying to say. Because I'm happy that they have gay officers. That's great. I'm glad that they show that, glad that they mention it. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that. And so on. It's just, it feels like they're like trying to be like, oh, we're not your daddy's Star Trek. We're Gen Z Star Trek. And it's like, but at some point you just stop being Star Trek then. Yeah. We say like, oh, well, it was like, it's very much like, well, that just happened kind of dialogue and stuff. Especially, I hear so many people talk about how great Stranger Worlds is. I fucking hate that show. There's an episode where they get turned into fucking Muppets.
Yeah.
Hey, it worked in Angel.
I didn't, though. I hate the fourth season of Angel. I hate the fourth season of Angel. Everyone loves the fourth season of Angel, too. And I'm like, how?
I do. I only seen it once. Man,
I guess I took Angel too seriously. And I took Buffy too seriously. And I'm sorry, but Spike sacrificed himself and went to heaven at the end of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and it was a satisfying end to his arc. And to bring him back as a ghost who has learned nothing just to be comic relief for Angel pissed me off. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm being a big stick in the mud about Strange New World and Angel, and I recognize that I'm being very silly. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. Lower Decks is fun, but again, I'm just like, I'd rather watch Rick and Morty, honestly. Like taking Rick and Morty and stuffing it into Star Trek just feels like Star Trek. Just feels like people that own the Star Trek license trying to ape Rick and Morty. It doesn't actually feel natural.
Probably what it is.
Well, that's exactly. It has more love for Star Trek than the Paramount Plus, the other shows do, and I think it's made by people who, and because because it's animation, they can like do a little bit more things with it, a little bit,
right? And they do some fun stuff, like they bring in, what's his name from The First Duty? Locarno.
The guy who played.
Yeah, they bring him back and stuff like that's cool. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. I did enjoy Lower Decks. I haven't finished it. I enjoyed it a lot more than Discovery or Stranger Worlds. And I'm sorry, but Starfleet Academy, holy crap, that looks bad. It looks so bad. It looks so.
I keep seeing trailers for it or see images of it. I'm like, I mean, I love Star Trek. Obviously, we're here, but
I've seen
I've not
clips of it, and the clips I've seen from it are so bad. There's like a character, like a recruit who like accidentally swallows her communicator because I guess they're small now. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to give it a chance. But
when do they go to the communicators on their chest? Is that next gen or is that in the movies?
Next gen. It's next gen.
Okay.
To my knowledge, right? It's not in the movies.
It's next gen. They don't. Yeah, the badge communication. We
still got the Motorola Razors up until
they used the Razors in the TOS movies. Yeah, all of them.
It's just because in this movie the wristwatches, and I couldn't remember. I only seen these movies once.
Were they doing like a Dick Tracy thing in this? I didn't even notice them ever using.
They I don't know if they used them, but they were intended to be. They were intended to be a Dick Tracy thing.
Well, I mean, I'm rewatching the movie as we talk in the background, and there's like one scene where Kirk uses the wristwatch. Other than that, I haven't seen anything else. I mean, they don't really need to talk to each other. They're all in the same fucking room all the time.
I'm looking at these things, and I found a 3D model to print one, and I kind of want one.
Nice.
Just to put on like a shelf or something. They look actually cool. Oh, you could buy. They had a toy.
Of course they did.
Surprised.
They had a toy you could buy of it. Oh, it actually looks really kind of neat.
And then for Aaliyah, is that her name? The bald woman?
Aaliyah.
Yeah. They actually shaved her head too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's rare for a woman to do that.
And she cried.
The screen. Yeah, I bet the screen test for the TV show, they just had a bald cap, and it looks fine. But they're like, nope, need to be as real as we can. We're going to shave her head. It's like Nair or something like it on her head so that she wouldn't like get like a 5 o'clock shadow. They talked about it.
It's memorable. I'll give them that. It's a very memorable look.
But like, I mean, for one role, and you got to wait for your hair to go back.
Yeah,
right. And she was a former Miss India.
Yeah,
she was Miss Universe contestant. She was Miss India 1968, I think.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
Well, she's also, by the way, I would have guessed the actress was like 20. She's like in her 30s.
Yeah, she looks good.
Younger.
She looks really young, really good.
No wonder why she won Miss India. So hey.
Yeah, she was. I think she was more like 20 when she won Miss India. But yeah, and she died very young.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, I just read about
49 years old, died of a heart attack.
Oh, I see. She was a chain smoker.
She was a chain smoker. Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't help the situations usually.
No, unfortunately, that's like how a lot of Hollywood stars died. You read their biography, like, he died at age 51 of lung cancer or whatever, like Humphrey Bogart. I was like, they smoked all the time back then.
Yeah, I guess when you're waiting for things to happen, you just light up.
William Shatner is 94 and he looks excellent. So,
but he doesn't smoke. Guaranteed,
he probably doesn't smoke.
He came to a convention here once.
Yeah, I
had no idea.
As we're talking about meeting it, I actually saw him. I went to a screening of Wrath of Khan in 2018, I believe, and he was there. And I didn't meet him, but I saw him. He introduced and he answered. They had like a panel afterwards. And I went with my parents, and we were all like, "He looks great. How old is he?" And he was like, "Oh, he's 88 years old back then." And he looked great. He looked like he's 60. Yeah, maybe it's genetics, but he's doing something right. Yeah.
Money helps.
Or the toupee. He definitely wears a toupee. That's a good toupee. You have yeah. Oh,
meet him. I just didn't want to pay. I was like, I'm not interested enough to get a picture with you for $100-something bucks. I'm like, I don't care. Next Gen is my Star Trek. So
right.
I have met two people from Next Gen. I have met Marina Sirtis, so Deanna Troi, and I met Jonathan Frakes.
Oh, nice.
I met both of them. And I only met Lieutenant Uhura. I forgot her name. Nicole Nichols. Crosby. I met her.
Oh, Uhura. I thought you were saying you said Yar, and I was like, Denise Crosby played Tasha Yar.
I know it. She was at a convention, and Tiff thought about meeting her, and she wanted it was like $100-some bucks to meet her, and she's like, I don't think I want to pay this. So that's fine. I'm not paying that either. So that's okay. So she never met.
Yeah, there's a podcast I listen to, Newbie Star Trek, and it's like one of the people has watched Star Trek before, and the others have never watched it. And one of them, he like really just like was super. Season 1, he was like super into Tasha Yar, and was like completely shocked when she died.
Yeah,
And so the other host, they paid Denise Crosby to do a cameo where she asked him to recap the episode, because he always recaps, since he's like he always recaps the episode. So they brought her on, and it's funny because she knows what they're doing it for, but she chose to do like a voice when she does it, and it sounds nothing like Tasha Yar at all. Like,
but that's
Ricardo,
cool, though.
Could you please tell me what happens in today's episode? And so anyway, they're on DS9. They got Nana Visitor to do that one, and she actually sounds like Kira. It's great.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
I meet celebrities when I get the chance, because I had the chance to meet Kevin Conroy and Jonathan JDF from Power Rangers. They were both at a convention. I was like, I'll see them next time. And they both died.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, we ain't doing that again. So if there's someone you want to meet, just go fucking pay and meet them. If you can, you never know. So now
I've never met I don't think I've ever met a celebrity.
I like cons a lot.
Sure.
They're fun. I'm going to 3 this year, so
nice.
For sure. Might be 4 or 5, who knows, by the time the year's over, but definitely 3. I already bought tickets, so.
That's great.
We have a big con here in Twin Cities that we get every year now, Twin Cities Con, and I already bought, I bought my pass. It doesn't happen until November. I bought my pass in November the previous year. Like Black Friday, they had a sale, and I'm like, I'll buy them now. I'm going. They always have a lot of great guests, and it's just fucking fun. But
do we have much else to say about the movie?
Honestly, don't. I do not.
There's not a lot
one
to
thing.
say.
I know. There was a couple of things I noted while I was watching it. They kind of like, one thing is, and they do this in Next Gen also, in Best of Both Worlds. You see Earth, and it's like current. Like you would expect the 24th century, or in this 23rd century, there to be, space stations, ships.
Yeah.
It's like the capital of the Federation, and it's deserted. There's nothing. And the same thing in Strange New Worlds. Strange New Worlds, Best of Both Worlds, the season 3 finale of Next Gen, season 4 premiere, and the Borg get to Earth, and it's deserted. There's nobody. There's no space stations. There's no shipyards.
It doesn't make sense.
There's no orbital defense platforms. Right.
I know.
But in this, there's the dry dock for the Enterprise and nothing else. And then
there's one orbiting space station. Yeah.
Right. But when and then when V'ger gets there, there's literally nothing.
Yeah, it's probably a budget thing, or as an attempt to not make it look cluttered, is my guess.
Yeah, I guess. It'd probably be hard to make it look good.
Yeah.
Back then.
Because you'd just be a lot of, in real life, there'd be a lot of like installations. There'd be like defenses and.
It would be like Coruscant. It would be. Right,
exactly.
Yeah.
They mentioned the defenses. They mentioned that when V'ger shoots the orbs, all the defenses are knocked out.
Yeah, they say the planetary defenses are all offline, but I guess they're all just, I don't know.
The ground.
So that was like a little thing where I was, that would have been better if we could have seen that. So yeah, there was that. The uniform, I like Kirk's dress uniform. All the other uniforms suck. The Deltans are dumb. The idea of like an entire race that has to take a vow of celibacy to be allowed to serve in Starfleet just because they're too hot. We don't know why in this movie, I guess, to be fair. It's Enterprise that they were too hot.
Yeah, we're not given anything.
Yeah, we're not given anything. She just says, I've taken my vow of celibacy before coming aboard, I assure you. And that's it. We're like, okay.
It's
okay,
pointless.
thank you.
It shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
You're just going to kill her at the end of this movie anyway. Like, it never comes to play.
I just love Kirk is just like, all right, sounds good. Guess I won't be fucking her.
If this were a modern show, someone would be like, whoa, TMI.
Right, yeah. If this was, yes, exactly. If this was Star Trek Starfleet Academy, then Robert Picardo, who is in that show, I assume as himself, as the Doctor.
Yeah,
I assume he's the Doctor and not the professor that created the Doctor. He would have gone, ooh, TMI. But
I like that guy.
Absolutely would have said that. But anyway.
Much as I don't like Voyager, I would meet him if he came to the convention.
Oh man, he's one of my favorite characters on Voyager too. He might be my favorite Voyager character.
Yeah, definitely.
I love the Doctor. I love the idea of an EMH becoming sentient because it's left on for too long.
Yes, that is such a great plot point.
And then also
about Voyager.
Yeah, I just want to say, so another kind of neat thing about the EMH is you get this idea of the EMH from Voyager. And immediately you think, well, why don't they just have entire ships that are just all EMHs, only they're ECHs and EEHs and so on, right? And then in the 7th season of Voyager, there is a ship like that. There's a ship where the whole crew are holograms. Right. And yeah, I love it. It's like,
man, you're gonna make me rewatch Voyager now. I don't know if I'm okay with this.
I was telling
all the way through before.
I think I was telling Peter earlier, but if you decided to do like a season by season, like we're gonna do an episode for season 1 of this show or that show, I would do it for all the Star Trek series, any of them.
That's honestly more than I want to bite off, but because there is a 2-part show that from Star Trek Next Gen that I plan to have us do an episode on the 2-part because I feel like we have to before we talk about a wonderful movie. Best of both worlds.
I'm gonna have to ask you off the air what you're talking about.
Best of both worlds.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I have to talk
before we
make an episode.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Before we can do First Contact, that movie is like a sequel to that.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
God, that
definitely. Yeah,
I kicked myself.
Worlds is amazing.
The last time they were I think they might have been in theaters more than once, but I've never seen it in theaters. Every time it's been here, I missed it. And I one day I should go see that in theaters.
What, First Contact?
Best of both. Well, both. Worlds and First Contact.
Oh no, I've never seen like a TV show in a theater before, actually. But I saw First Contact in the theater like when I was in high school.
I've only ever seen First Contact once, and I loved it when I saw it, but that was a long time ago in a completely different mic. So I
made fun of it earlier. I made fun of it earlier, but it's by far my favorite. Like no other Star Trek movie even comes close to it for me, honestly.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what my opinions are as we progress through the series.
Yeah, I watch First Contact every couple of years, actually. So I've seen that one a bunch.
I think I still have these. I bought DVD sets of all these movies at one point because they weren't streaming anywhere back then because this was many years ago. Right. And I remember watching them all, and that was my first time. And I only went through the whole series once. I watched each movie once, and then I've never. Well, so like it feels good to go back.
This series we're doing here is kind of a first for me in that, like, I've seen all of the original Star Trek movies as a kid once or twice. But I haven't seen any of the Star Trek movies in probably 20 plus years. Any of the original series ones. You know, the TNG movies I've seen multiple times, except for Nemesis, because I saw Nemesis in the theater and that was enough. I don't need to ever see it again.
I would say you never need to see it again, but unfortunately you might have to at some point.
Well, no, I will for this. I will for you. For you, I will watch Nemesis again.
It'll be a great episode because we will go into it. So yeah.
But I legitimately love 7, 8, and 9. Like Generations, First Contact, and Insurrection. I legitimately love all 3 of those movies. Even though
movies?
Yeah, there's 10.
Yeah.
Oh.
10 in the main timeline, yeah.
And then there's Kelvin, and then there's
3 Kelvin ones, right?
Isn't there a Discovery movie or something too now?
No, there's a Section 31 Paramount original movie, which I don't want to watch.
No, I'm not going to watch
I don't
that.
care.
I'm sorry. Section 31 was supposed to be a movie. I mean, it was supposed to be a series, and then they shortened it into a movie instead.
Okay. I just hear people talk about it, but I don't know anything about it. I mean, I know what Section 31 is from Deep Space Nine.
There's a Deltan in it.
Yeah.
There's a Deltan in Section 31, but it's a male Deltan, and he's from the Mirror Universe.
Come on.
And he has a bunch of headgear on. He looks like Lobot from Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay.
He looks like an incredibly low budget version of Lobot. Like he looks like if Empire Strikes Back had the budget of the 1978 Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
So my goal this year is to get through the 10 movies then, not including the Kelvin timeline. So we'll see what happens, but that's my goal.
I'm sorry. I was there's also a female Deltan in Section 31. My bad.
Okay, that's just weird. But hey, it ties into what we're talking about. So,
yeah.
Movies still play in the back. I mean, like a lot of movies I watch. Sometimes I found myself watching some of the movies when I put them in the background for when I do these episodes. I'm paying zero attention to this movie in the background. So I forgot to say this, but I watched the movie today mostly and a little bit yesterday, the way that the producers meant me to, and I watched it in between phone calls at work. And that's the way I watched this movie in the background. And I had a hard time staying on with this movie. Like I just couldn't. I was just so bored. Like so yesterday I took my lunch break and I'm like, I'm gonna watch this movie for half an hour on my lunch break. I went to it, started it, and I changed to some documentary because I'm like, I don't want to watch this for half an hour.
Yeah. It's definitely it's slow. It looks really good, but it's just really slow. Yeah. And it's like 2 hours and 12 minutes or whatever.
It's too long of a movie for what it is.
Where not much happens. So
yeah, like I say, if this was a single episode, I think people would have a pretty good opinion of it. But the whole movie is just stretched and stretched and stretched. It's definitely not the worst of these movies, though, in my opinion. Like I'd watch this before I'd watch this before I'd watch 5. And I honestly don't think 6 is that great, honestly.
I disagree on that one, but we'll get there.
Well, I've got to see. I haven't seen it in a long time. I haven't seen it in a long time. 2 and 4 are the ones I remember really liking.
Yeah, 2 and 4 are great. They're the top tier. I think 3 is pretty good. It's a fun action movie. We'll get into it.
I think I haven't seen 3. I think I haven't seen 3 actually.
It'll be good.
I remember really liking 3. I watched it the last time, but I can't tell you anything about like. I also remember not liking Wrath of Khan when I saw it, but I had not seen the original episode before. I should maybe watch that before I watch Wrath of Khan again when we get there. But yeah, so that's going to be a fun one to go into because it's going to be pretty blind for me. So
good.
I have no memory. All right, we should go to Shelf Stacker Box. And Peter, why don't you lead us in?
Why don't you, this one, don't keep it on your shelf. I guess I keep it in the stack personally. I think it's a fine movie if you like Star Trek. It's worth seeing. Maybe if you've seen it before, see the remastered version to get a better sense of it. It's a very intriguing sci-fi story. It just kind of overstays its welcome. And I think I've seen it only a couple of times because it's not one to rewatch. It's a perfectly serviceable movie, but it's not one I ever really say, I'm just going to put this on and relax because it's a bit of a chore. So I don't know. You don't need to revisit it anytime soon, I think. You just keep it dormant until you really have an urge to watch more Star Trek.
Or you decide to do a podcast with people.
Yeah, exactly. That's all.
Yeah, basically exactly the same. I enjoyed it. It's definitely not my favorite. It's definitely not my least favorite. Can't see myself watching it again in the next 10 years. So at the bottom of the stack, but not tossing it.
Go last. I'm putting this in the box because I was so bored during this movie that the only able to get through it was to play on the Steam Deck while I had this movie playing. That was the only way I could keep myself to watch this movie. It just is so boring and slow. Maybe if I saw it in a theater, this would be different where I'm forced to pay attention, but then I might just pass out from boredom. I don't know. But I really did not have a good time with this movie. And I don't need to see it again ever. So yeah, I'm glad we rewatched it. And I get it that people do. There are people out there who really like this movie, and I can understand why. But it is not me. And I like Star Trek a lot now, but this is not a Mike movie at all.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one to get into. Yeah.
And I think I like Space Odyssey. I'm actually going to hopefully cover that at some point later this year too. So that's going to be interesting to see what my opinion is in that movie. But this guy is no Kubrick. There's that too.
Yeah.
So at some point, because you're going to be here end of February. At some point, Wrath of Khan, hopefully in March, is my plan. You'll hear talk about Wrath of Khan. And hopefully I will do the 10 movies. I thought there were only 9, but the 10 movies this year. Or if you don't, you might. That's the goal. At least you get them all recorded this year, and then there's always the Kelvin timeline. But yeah, I want it. It does feel good to have the first Star Trek thing in the show.
Yeah. You can have Nemesis be out for Christmas. It'd be like a nice Christmas present.
I mean, it won't be a Christmas present for us watching it, I can tell you that much.
No.
I've seen that movie once. I was very upset.
Yeah. You will be upset again.
Yeah.
And I did not have the love for TNG that I do now, so
you will
even if you've never seen Star Trek, it's just a bad movie.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's the cherry on. It's like the very end of the first timeline. So
yeah,
I wish it was a better way to go, but it's not. So
I mean, that's usually how things go, though, with a bomb, and they go, "Well, we're not doing that again." That's usually how studios work.
You can tell a reboot. Need to reboot it. Yeah. Anyway,
probably haven't rebooted it again yet, to be honest. All right, and then we should go to plugs. And Peter, where can people find you at?
If you like sci-fi and you like little bit more action than Star Trek: The Motion Picture, you should check out The Fifth Civilization, which is a trilogy of books. The first one is called The Fifth Civilization. It's kind of a space opera, kind of a voyage to unknown worlds. So look it up. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it wherever books are sold.
Hey, and your first novel had a lot more shooting than this movie did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it had shooting and aliens, and it was not based on Star Trek: The Motion Picture. I'll tell you that it wasn't influenced.
And I just want to say, The Fifth Civilization is one of my favorite Star sci-fi book series. I really enjoyed it a lot, and definitely people should check it out. We were talking about we don't know celebrities. I'm like, well, I know a really great author, but we haven't met in person. But yeah, I'm not just like blowing smoke. Like, they're legitimately great books. I've compared them a lot to Mass Effect for people that like the Mass Effect series.
That's fair. That's a fair statement.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Excellent.
The first book is good, Peter. Fortunately, it's the only one I can comment on.
Someday.
You gotta finish the trilogy. That especially, I feel like the third book is such a satisfying completion of the trilogy too.
Right.
So
I try.
I enjoyed the second book as well, but I think the third was actually my favorite of them.
Thank you. I agree.
And Kerry, where can people find you at?
Hey, I'm Kerooseta, Kerooseta on Twitch and YouTube, and I modify and repair video game consoles on there occasionally, but more often I just stream whatever I'm playing. Currently, as we're recording this, I just beat Elden Beast on my shields only run of Elden Ring, a run where I use nothing but a shield from the very beginning of the game through the end.
How does that work?
It is so if you have a shield in your right hand, or if you two-hand a shield, then the R1 and R2 attack with the shield. It does very little damage, but it actually does a lot of poise damage, especially if you guard counter. So almost every non-boss in the game, you will stun with a single guard counter if you do it with like a great shield. And then also there's some cheesy great shields, like the one I used to beat Elden Beast is a flamethrower. The shield, it just spits fire. So
I need to play that game someday, but that game feels like it'll be a taxing, and
It's my favorite game. It's my favorite game of all time. But you could call me in to help you if anything. I've got multiple characters and multiple levels because I have now I believe I'm sitting at a little over 600 hours in Elden Ring. I really should be playing something else
at some point.
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, and then you can use mods and make it even better.
That's the plan.
But anyway, yeah, that's what I do on my I'm not really doing a great job of keeping up with the social media and stuff on there. The YouTube and the Twitch. I just kind of stream whatever I'm doing, and I make some shorts out of it occasionally. So
marketing is annoying.
And I am trying to get back into the console modding. It's just gotten a little expensive, but I'm actually soft modding some 3DSs for a friend right now. Actually, like tonight, I was doing that before we got on. So,
but remember, you're being a patriot by paying those tariffs. You're being a patriot.
Yeah,
that's what someone wants us to believe. So, all right. And if you enjoyed this episode, there are over 900 other episodes of this podcast. We do movies, TV shows, video games, comics. And this is the first Star Trek, so there are no other ones to look at, but we've done a ton of other stuff. Check out our Star Wars content. You can search anything you want on Podbean. We have tons of episodes. If you want to support the show, we do have a Patreon. We'll vote in our Patreon poll. We have 1 to 2 polls a month. Currently, at the time you're hearing this, there's still 2 polls are ending, but 2 polls, and we'll see about March. And then also, if you donate $10 or more, we'll plug your podcast or YouTube. Every episode I make that month, I make a ton. Like these lovely people, Phoebe Stanton, the Let's Play Princess on YouTube and Twitch. And you can also check her out in her podcast, Nerd Broadcast, and check out Zach's podcast, absolutely the best podcast of work in progress. Talks about MC movies, MCU adjacent movies, and they are currently doing the Alien Predator franchise. They're pretty far into that too, so check that out. And give a shout out to A Gamer Looks at 40 and check out his new show, Carrying My Cross, a religious show, but still it's very good, and it's coming from a non-religious guy, so check out that show. And we'll give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro, Chris Helena at Hell Hasper. You can follow her on TikTok and Instagram. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, and rate and reviews wherever you get your podcasts. I think that's everything I need to say, so we will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, out there, that away.
The human adventure is just beginning.